Allô?
Mal switch is going.
No, I'm just now.
The following footage was uploaded to the YouTube channel Million Miles Mark in June of 2013. In it, Mark set out to explore an abandoned World War II bunker hidden deep within the French Alps. Decades earlier, the underground fortress had served as part of France's mountain defenses, a place where soldiers once stood watch for enemy movements and prepared for the possibility of invasion. But by the time Mark arrived, the bunker had long since been abandoned, left to decay into a sprawling maze of damp corridors, rusting steel doors, and empty chambers carved directly into the mountainside. Armed with little more than a pair of flashlights and his camera, Mark made his way inside. With each step deeper underground, the daylight faded behind him until it disappeared completely. The further he ventured into the bunker, the more isolated he became, surrounded only by darkness, dripping water, and the echo of his own footsteps. Eventually, he reached a shadowy passage leading down into the lower levels of the complex. What began as a routine exploration of a forgotten wartime structure, however, quickly became something far more unsettling when strange noises suddenly echoed from the darkness below.
Y'a quelqu'un? Allô? Allô? Y'a quelqu'un? Vous me faites peur!
The sounds were impossible to ignore. Blood-curdling screams echoed through the bunker's lower levels, followed by distorted growls and other noises that seemed almost impossible to identify. The cries carried through the tunnels with such intensity that Mark immediately knew someone or something was down there with him. Despite sounding genuinely frightened, he continued moving deeper into the bunker. At several points, he called out into the darkness, attempting to find out who was making the noises or whether they needed help. But every time he spoke, the same agonizing screams answered him back. Mixed in with them were strange animal-like sounds and odd mechanical noises that only added to the confusion. Whether driven by curiosity, determination, or the simple need to know what was waiting below, Mark continued his descent, slowly closing the distance between himself and whatever was hidden in the darkness.
Allô? Allô? C'est pas marrant comme blague. Monsieur? Allô?
Unfortunately, the chaos that followed made it difficult to determine exactly what Mark encountered in those lower levels. The footage became dark, shaky, and disorienting as events unfolded, offering only brief glimpses of what appeared to be a figure moving aggressively toward him. What is clear is that something down there caused him to panic almost immediately. Between the relentless screaming, the sudden movement in his direction, and the sound of rapid footsteps charging through the bunker, Mark decided he had seen enough. He immediately turned and fled back through the tunnels, abandoning the exploration altogether. To this day, viewers remain divided over what actually happened. Some believe another explorer was hiding in the bunker and intentionally tried to scare him. Others suspect a squatter may have been living deep underground and reacted violently after being discovered. A handful of viewers have even suggested a paranormal explanation, though there is little evidence to support that theory. Whatever was making those screams deep beneath the French Alps was never identified, but at least Mark only heard whatever was lurking in the darkness. In our next story, one explorer would come face to face with something standing at the very end of a tunnel. In March of 2024, an American YouTuber named Zach uploaded a disturbing video to his channel, Into the Void. The channel itself is small, holding only 4 videos, all documenting his exploration of a storm drain system in Colorado Springs. The first 2 uploads serve as introductions. Zach sits inside his car, explaining how he discovered the tunnel and sharing bits of its history. The third video follows him hiking through the woods in search of the entrance. By the 4th and final upload, he finally locates the storm drain and begins exploring it. At first, everything feels routine. Zach speaks casually to his audience while moving deeper into the tunnel system. The further he walks, the darker it becomes. The concrete walls tighten, the light fades, and eventually, he reaches a section of the tunnel swallowed almost completely by darkness. That's when everything changes.
Hello? Anyone here? This is the spot where it closes off a little bit. I'm really not looking forward to this. I don't know what that was. I need to take a breather. Nope, I'm dipping out. This shit. I don't know what that is. Oh, fuck.
As soon as the scream echoes through the tunnel, Zach freezes. For a moment, he just stares into the darkness, trying to locate where the sound came from. The noise carries from deep within the tunnel, distorted by the tight concrete walls. Then it happens again. That's when instinct took over. Zach turns and bolts in the opposite direction, sprinting back the way he came. His breathing becomes frantic, footsteps slamming against the damp ground as he rushes towards the exit. He later confirms that he made it out without serious injuries, but what he claims to have seen is what unsettled viewers the most. According to Zach, at the far end of the tunnel stood something pale. Its skin looked almost drained of color, stretched tightly over a thin frame. He described it as a humanoid in shape, yet wrong in subtle ways. The face, he said, reminded him of a horse, but without a defined snout, just elongated, distorted features staring back at him. He compared it to the legends like the Poplick monster, or even a skinwalker, but based on the details he provided, especially the deep growling sound that echoed through the tunnel, those explanations seem unlikely. Whatever was there made a noise that didn't sound staged. It sounded territorial. When you isolate the scream itself, it carries a sharp guttural quality, more animal than human. And considering Zach was exploring a storm drain system in Colorado, a far more grounded explanation begins to emerge. Mountain lions and bobcats are native to the region. Both are capable of producing high-pitched, almost human-like screams that can send a chill straight through anyone who hears them. Inside a confined tunnel, that sound would bounce and warp, becoming even more unsettling. It's entirely possible that an animal had taken shelter at the end of that drain. The echo could explain why the scream sounded so distorted, so unnatural. Still, the image Zach described remains difficult to ignore. Whether Zach encountered a frightened animal or something far stranger remains a mystery. But while his encounter lasted only a few terrifying seconds, our next explorers would spend far longer in the presence of something they couldn't explain. If you're enjoying the video so far, please consider subscribing. Your support genuinely helps the channel grow, and the deeper we go, the more disturbing these encounters become. But for now, let's continue. In April of 2020, footage uploaded to the YouTube channel Steve Ballard documented a disturbing exploration deep beneath the coastline of Kent, England. Urban explorer Steve Ballard and his friend Stuart entered the infamous Grain Fort tunnels, a sprawling underground system dating back to the 1800s. It was originally built to help defend the English coastline from invasion. But this was not Steve's first visit to the tunnels. During an earlier investigation, he claimed he experienced an overwhelming sense that something unseen was following him through the darkness. At one point, he even described feeling what seemed like breathing against the back of his neck. Now returning with Stuart, Steve quickly notices something strange. Certain areas of the tunnels appear different from how he remembered them. Others seem altered somehow, despite the tunnels remaining abandoned for years. As they continue deeper underground, the atmosphere around them slowly begins to change. Then their equipment starts malfunctioning. Flashlights begin flickering. Cameras glitch unexpectedly, and the deeper they travel into the tunnels, the worse it becomes.
Can you imagine going back to Napoleon times when these were being used, Stu? Yeah. Which I assume that these were these little hooks. Yeah. Perhaps to put candles on. Oh, my torch has just gone out. That's charged. I'll charge it up today before I come out. That's weird. That's weird. Oh, what the? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that was weird, people. My torch just went out. And it went out here last time as well.
At first, Steve tries to dismiss the equipment failures as coincidence. Old batteries, damp conditions, faulty electronics. But the lights continue behaving erratically as they move deeper through the underground corridors. At times, the flashlights flicker violently before cutting out entirely, forcing the two explorers to walk through stretches of complete darkness beneath the earth. Eventually, they enter a larger room scattered with bottles, cans, cups, and other debris left behind by previous visitors, evidence that other people had recently been inside the tunnels. After spending several moments looking around, Steve and Stuart began backing out into the hallway, and that is when the camera captures something neither of them noticed in the moment. A dark figure suddenly moves across the corridor ahead of them, a shadow-like shape slipping silently through the tunnel, just beyond the failing light.
This tunnel is
It's amazing, isn't it?
really smart. It's really clean.
Yeah. And it's dry, look. For the best part. And it's dry. Look. For the best part. Dry. Look. For the best part.
Yeah.
The figure appears only for a moment, but its shape is difficult to ignore, dark, human-like, crossing directly through the hallway ahead of them before vanishing into the tunnels. Yet neither Steve nor Stewart realizes what their camera has captured. Completely unaware of the figure, the two explorers continue moving forward, directly toward the area where it disappeared. Then suddenly, Steve feels something change.
And it's dry, look, for the best part.
Yeah.
I think a lot of these are slate. It's big, the big slate slabs on these floors. I'll go down there. God, it just felt cold walking down there, Stu.
The freezing sensation hit Steve in the exact location where the shadow figure had crossed moments earlier. But when the explorers search the area, they find nothing. No footsteps, no movement, no sign that anyone else had been inside the tunnels with them. Only the sudden cold lingering in the darkness. What makes the encounter even stranger is that Steve is not the only one affected. As Stewart passes through the same section of tunnel moments later, he reacts instantly. He feels it too. The same overwhelming cold. The same wave of dread. Both men begin experiencing goosebumps and rising panic as if they had stepped directly into something unseen lingering beneath the fort.
Well, I just got the EPG
Did ya?
bit. Yeah.
What, did your hair go up?
Really bad EPG.
Yeah, I get it down that tunnel there, Stu. I always get it down there.
I've got cold as well. I've got,
Goosebumps.
it's freezing.
Yeah, that's why I always get it, right there where you are, at the end of that tunnel there. I've got it now. Oh, my hair's gone right on end. Yeah, same. Oh, look at my hair. You can see my hair on my legs. It's just all gone up. I've gone all goosebumpy.
I can see
Like a mist.
it's like a mist like my breath.
Yeah.
It's too far away. But it's freezing. I've got the creeps really bad.
I go down there on my own.
That done me.
Look at my legs.
I've got all the hair standing up on the back of my head.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, I never expected that.
Yeah, I'll get
never
it.
expected that.
By this point, the atmosphere inside the tunnels had become deeply unsettling. The sudden cold spots, the malfunctioning equipment, and the shadow figure captured crossing the corridor moments before both investigators experienced the freezing sensation in the exact same place. None of it made sense at the time. It was only later, while reviewing the footage, that Steve and Stewart finally realized what may have happened beneath the Grain Fort tunnels that night. When they replayed the recording and spotted the dark figure moving silently through the hallway, the strange sequence of events suddenly seemed connected, as if whatever crossed that tunnel had left something behind. Whether the figure was truly paranormal or simply a trick of light inside the underground corridors remains impossible to prove. For Steve and Stewart, the tunnel seemed alive with strange activity, yet in our next story, there wouldn't be any shadow figures or sudden cold spots. Instead, it was a single unexplained sound echoing through the darkness that convinced a group of writers they were no longer alone. The following footage was uploaded to the YouTube channel Sir Rome in December of 2024. In it, 3 dirt bike riders set out to explore a massive storm drain tunnel running beneath their hometown. 2 of the riders had attempted the journey before, but turned back earlier after becoming uneasy and realizing their lights weren't powerful enough to continue safely. This time, however, they returned better prepared, and with a 3rd rider joining the expedition. As they ventured deeper into the concrete labyrinth, they quickly discovered the tunnel system was far larger than they had expected. Water flowed steadily along the floor while graffiti-covered walls disappeared into the darkness ahead. Some of the markings appeared to be warnings left behind by previous visitors, adding an unsettling atmosphere to an already intimidating location. At first, the group treated the adventure like a thrilling challenge, joking with one another and enjoying the experience. But the further they traveled underground, the more the mood began to change. The daylight behind them slowly vanished, and the realization that they were now deep beneath the city started to sink in. Thoughts of flooding, getting lost, or becoming trapped suddenly felt more realistic. Despite growing concerns, the riders continued forward, determined not to repeat their earlier retreat. But just as they began settling into the darkness around them, an unusual sound suddenly echoed through the tunnel.
Yo, low-key, I think we should go back.
That's what I said.
Dude, we went like way farther than this.
We did actually go quite further. We probably doubled what we did right then.
Dude, it just does that one sound and that's it. That's just probably like a drain. There's barely any water in here and there's no line.
Wait, listen.
Like here, so we'll be fine.
I think we should go back. It's up to you guys though. Okay.
I don't like that sound.
But we hear it all the time.
No, we don't. I swear, not that loud.
Yeah, let's go back.
Why?
Bro, because it's scary.
Bro, we're never gonna get anywhere if we keep going back, bro.
That is true. That's new.
Let's go back.
Bro, it's just a drain, bro. Come on.
It's just either connected to like a big thing and it just floods every once in a while.
That was a big one.
Yeah,
Let's just go
bro.
back.
No.
No?
Bro.
Okay. If we were reasonable humans, we'd say, okay, we've seen a lot. Let's go back. We got the footy. We're good. But the thing is, since we're such next level content creators, and I have a TikTok and a YouTube,
Bro, Sir
we have to go. Whoa, I don't like how far this water's going up.
I think we go back.
Yeah.
Wait. Stop.
The sound immediately changed the atmosphere inside the tunnel. What had started as nervous excitement quickly shifted into genuine concern as the writers struggled to identify what they were hearing. The noise echoed through the concrete passageways in a way that made it impossible to pinpoint its source. At times, it sounded metallic. At others, it resembled some kind of distant siren or warning signal coming from far ahead. The group repeatedly stopped to listen, debating among themselves whether the sound was simply water moving through the drainage system or something far more unusual. Yet every time it echoed through the tunnel, their confidence seemed to fade a little more. By this point, they had traveled well beyond the distance reached during their previous visit, and none of them seemed comfortable with continuing much further. The deeper they went, the more isolated they felt. Eventually, caution won out, and the group agreed it was time to turn around. But even as they began heading back toward the entrance, the mysterious noise continued reverberating through the darkness behind them, making it feel as though whatever was creating it remained somewhere deeper within the tunnel system.
Dude, that's cool. We don't have rides like this at Disneyland.
They got like this. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Try.
You see how I did it? Get off your bike and pick
Go in
it up.
front, bro. I can't see. We're.
Turn around. We go that way?
No, we can't. We have to go this way. Bro.
You're probably just through a rock.
No, we're. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't want to go that way.
No, we can't. Let's go this way.
I don't want to leave. Yeah, bro, I don't want to leave. Wait, let's scare the hell out of him.
Are those sirens?
No, it's a speaker, G. Not really. Don't roost me, just start off slow. Just get your sidewall dry. Bro, I've heard prepubescent voices.
Even after leaving the tunnel, the riders found themselves unable to shake what they had heard. While they were relieved to be back in daylight, the mystery surrounding the sound remained unresolved. Looking back on the experience, they struggled to settle on a single explanation. At certain moments, the noise resembled a distant siren or loudspeaker. At others, it almost sounded like voices carrying through the tunnel system. Some listeners later described hearing what they resembled screaming, chanting, or a group of people speaking somewhere far underground. Of course, there are several reasonable explanations. The sound may have been produced by rushing water, hidden drainage channels, or unusual acoustics created by the tunnel itself. The writers themselves considered the possibility that the noise originated from a larger chamber somewhere deeper within the system, where water was flowing through unseen passages. Yet despite their explanations, they remained unconvinced. The sound was unlike anything they remembered hearing during their earlier visit, and none of the theories seemed to fully account for what they experienced that night. To this day, no one knows exactly what was producing those strange sounds deep within the storm drain. But not every encounter underground begins with fear. As our next explorers learned, sometimes the most unsettling discovery is finding another person where nobody should be. The following footage was uploaded to the YouTube channel Steve Ronan in August of 2016. In the video, Steve and several friends explored Ape Cave, a massive lava tube near Mount St. Helens in Washington state. Their goal was simple: travel as far into the underground passage as possible, experience complete darkness, and reach the end of one of the longest lava tubes in North America. At first, the adventure felt more like a travel vlog than a horror story. The group joked with one another, compared sections of the cave to scenes from video games, and experimented with turning off the lights to witness true darkness. Whenever their flashlights disappeared, so did everything else. Beyond the narrow beams was nothing but a black void, stretching in every direction. As they continued deeper underground, the cave gradually became more difficult to navigate. The ceilings lowered, the passage narrowed, and sections of the rough lava rock forced them to crouch and eventually crawl through tight spaces. More than once they questioned whether it was worth continuing, but curiosity kept pulling them forward. Eventually, they reached what appeared to be the end of the tunnel. Surrounded by jagged rock and countless miles from daylight, they decided it was finally time to head back. But while navigating one of the cave's darkest sections, they suddenly realized they were no longer alone.
There's the entrance to go down. That's like from that scary movie, Descent.
Really cool.
Oh god, this looks like some from a horror movie.
Yeah, this is,
and it's,
okay, now this is really the end.
The end? Wait, this is the end?
This is the end. There's a wall now.
This is a freaking... So we made it to the end of the tunnel.
Okay. Got it. Gonna head back now. This girl doesn't have a flashlight, so we're just gonna wait.
On me. English?
I don't know
You
if
speak English? No English.
No?
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay, come with us.
Hey Josh, do you see those the couple that was back there?
You wanna come
Can
with
you tell
us?
them their daughter's up here and she's scared?
they don't speak. She doesn't speak
She doesn't
English.
speak
They don't
English.
speak English.
It's okay.
It's alright. This is the way back. Alright, making our way back to John and Cody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yo, we'll go outside.
We waited for her, we just stayed.
She didn't speak English.
She didn't know English. She was by herself and she didn't know English.
Guess her parents left her or something.
Was that her parents back there?
No, that wasn't her.
At first, the unexpected encounter left the group confused. Deep within the cave, standing in near total darkness, was a young girl completely by herself. The situation became even more concerning when they realized she wasn't carrying a flashlight. In a cave where darkness was absolute, she had somehow reached one of the deepest sections of the tunnel without any reliable source of light. When Steve and his friends attempted to speak with her, they quickly discovered another problem. She didn't understand English. Communication became difficult, but it was obvious she was frightened and unsure of where to go. Despite the language barrier, the explorers managed to reassure her enough to follow them. They also remembered seeing a family earlier in the cave and began to suspect the girl may have become separated from somewhere along the route. As they carefully guided her back through the tunnel, distant voices eventually began echoing through the darkness. Adults were repeatedly calling a child's name in what sounded like a foreign language. The moment the girl heard the voices, she immediately recognized them and rushed towards the sound. Moments later, she was reunited with her parents.
So that was a really interesting situation with that little girl, like I felt so bad for her and like so sad for her. But you know, her parents just started calling her name, not in English. I don't even know what language, maybe German, and then she just came running out.
What an experience. As we were about to leave, this little girl comes up out of nowhere, scares us, and at first we're like, wait, whose parents are hers? And she was just there alone by herself. Then she just stood there in the back, so I started talking to her, but she wouldn't answer me. And I was like, wait a minute, I don't think she speaks English. It turns out she really didn't speak English at all. She's by herself, crawled the whole way in there by herself, no light. No light, what the heck? I don't get it, no light. She didn't even speak English. So they were like, okay, come with us. And you know, eventually, I guess her parents were like yelling her name in their language. And yeah, she went back, but she started crying and stuff. It was kind of a crazy situation.
Fortunately, the encounter ended on a positive note. The girl was reunited with her family, and what could have become a genuine emergency was resolved without anyone being harmed. Still, the situation was far more serious than it first appeared. She had somehow become separated from her parents, deep inside a cave system, far from the entrance and surrounded by complete darkness, without a flashlight, safety equipment, or a way to communicate with those around her. Finding her way back alone would have been extremely difficult. In an environment filled with uneven lava rock, narrow passages, and endless darkness, it isn't hard to imagine how quickly the situation could have worsened. A wrong turn, a fall, or simple panic could have left rescuers searching through miles of underground tunnels. Thankfully, that story ended with a safe reunion rather than a tragedy. Unfortunately, our final explorer wouldn't be nearly as lucky, because deep beneath an abandoned hospital, Chris Hill would begin following a figure into a tunnel where there was seemingly nowhere left to run. Across the United States, solo urban explorer Chris Hill travels into some of the country's most disturbing abandoned locations. Through his YouTube channel, Urbex Hill, he combines historical research with exploration, often uncovering far more than broken walls and forgotten objects left behind. On this occasion, Chris decided to investigate an abandoned hospital known as Molly Stark Sanitarium. The medical center remained active until 1995, before eventually closing as patient numbers declined and the building itself became outdated. Now, more than 2 decades after its closure, the structure sat silent and empty. At least, that's what Chris believed. At first, the investigation felt completely normal. Chris calmly moved through deteriorating hallways, passing rusted hospital equipment, damaged rooms, and reminders of the building's history while documenting everything in his usual style. Nothing initially stood out as unusual. As always, he was exploring completely alone. But before long, the atmosphere inside the hospital began shifting into something much more unsettling. While exploring the upper level, Chris suddenly stopped moving altogether. Without cutting the camera, he remained completely still, listening carefully, because somewhere inside the silence, he was hearing footsteps.
Do y'all hear that? It's walking. I hear footsteps.
And considering the hospital had reportedly sat abandoned for decades, the possibility of hearing someone else inside immediately raised concerns. But the footsteps would turn out to be only the beginning. As Chris slowly moved toward the underground tunnel system, things became increasingly difficult to explain.
I heard something.
A nearby door appeared to move on its own. Moments later, he thought he heard keys rattling. Then came what sounded like a distant voice somewhere in the darkness. And with every strange event, the feeling that somebody else was nearby only seemed to grow stronger.
Oh my God. This shit just keeps going. Yo, I keep hearing something. What the? You hear that? What? These tunnels are creepy as fuck. Okay, I heard something. I definitely heard something that time. What the fuck is that? Yo, do you see that shit, y'all? What the fuck? Yo. What? Yo, what the fuck? That is crazy.
Deep within the underground tunnels, Chris noticed something that instantly stopped him cold. Careful viewing of the footage appears to show a pale figure moving through the darkness just ahead. Initially, he assumed it had to be another person, a fellow explorer, someone hiding inside. Anything else would have made less sense, so naturally, he followed it.
There's somebody down here. I swear I saw somebody. What the fuck? I'm strapped just in case, y'all. It's a dead end. Oh my God.
But once he reached the end of the corridor, the situation suddenly became much more disturbing. There was nowhere for anyone to go. No side passage, no hidden doorway, no alternate route. Just a dead end.
And this is a dead end. I'm out of here. Yo, and my shoes is sticking to the ground. Not that way. What? Y'all will not believe this. My f***ing light died. Nah, this is some bullshit. I'm using a f***ing cell phone light.
As Chris attempted to retrace his path out of the hospital, things somehow became even stranger. His battery unit suddenly shut down completely. A power source designed to run for around 16 hours had died after only a fraction of that time. And considering Chris had spent years exploring abandoned locations, equipment failure wasn't something he was unfamiliar with, but according to him, this felt different. Eventually, he managed to escape using only the light from his phone. But what happened inside Molly Stark still remains open to interpretation. The footsteps, the moving door, the figure in the tunnel, and the battery failure. Because if what he saw wasn't another person, then what exactly was waiting in those tunnels?
And that wraps up this episode. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe so we can keep bringing you more creepy, bizarre, and haunting tales. Check out the links below to dive deeper. And if you have your own creepy encounter, tell us in the comments. We might feature it in a future video. Until next time, sleep tight.